get the vibe. Sudowrite rhythm, let the stories come alive. From the spark of desire to a burn.
Welcome to Sudowrite. This is Homeroom Engine Back to School Middle Grade Series, Part 3 of 4. Manon is here.
Hi,
So
I'm
am I.
Manon and this is John. We're Sudowrite instructors. Quick ground rules: camera and mic off to keep audio clean. Got questions? Raise your hand or type question in chat. We'll do Q&A at the end, and we stick around after recording stops for off-camera questions. You'll get a feedback email. We love constructive notes and appreciate 5-star ratings if this helped. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get started.
All right, so you go ahead and you present yourself this time.
My name is John Creson. I write under the pen name Charles Congers, Congers. I like to teach Sudowrite and I write series with this. So that's me.
And hello, this is Manon Doucet. I'm a published author. I've been with Sudowrite for, I think they're almost on their 3 years now. I've been with AI for more than that. I love teaching. I love writing. It's basically my main focus, total as my full-time job and my hobby and my passion. And I really love teaching these class with John. We always have a lot of fun.
And we always end up with a lot of extra books at the end of the workshops.
Yeah, not enough time to publish them. That will change though as soon as they have that editor out for everybody. That will change because that editing program is helping a lot. So by the end of this class, what are they going to know, John?
I have no idea when we're going to know that we're allowed to even talk about it too much, but I will show some people's. I will link you some good plugins that you can use to help edit. And next time we'll talk about the editing. If we can show you it in Sudowrite, we will. If not, we'll go to other means to do that.
So we have you have your document in Notion.
I shared that to Jade earlier. Let's see if I can share that again.
Share again. How do we get out of the plugin now?
I didn't share your notes.
I will go get the notes. Is everyone had a chance, or maybe it's time to ask, who been in the class before, who had a chance to go see the video that we did and the extra video that I made?
Okay, so anyone that saw the extra videos, give us a 5 because they were great. But also like give us a 5 so we know who actually may have seen them.
Not yet. And one more thing that we figure out is the Notion document, exactly the same thing that if you do the document here, if you download the document once it's open, the eDoc or the Notion, if you make a copy and bring it inside your Notion, everything John do after to update the Notion doesn't get translated to your Notion. No more that if you download the documentation from here, instead of going through the link, it doesn't get updated when I make changes. So each time you come to the class, it's good to click again on it to see all the change that happened since the last session. We tried to figure out a way to not having that problem, but we haven't have time to figure it out yet. Did you find something on that, John?
No.
Okay. So, and did you add anything to the Notion since the last session?
So I added a few plugins.
Okay.
There's that analyzer, and there's also a plugin that is sort of like Mimi's voice thing, but it's not actually Mimi's voice thing. Mimi's voice thing is good. but I haven't been able to sort of come up with an easy replication of it, other than to look at what she's doing and then to frame it yourself. But I did come up with a plugin that I'm using on the kids' books, which takes the idea of a voice orchestration and applies it in a single shot, similar to Troperator. And it gives me a card that is, here's what the first chapter should sound like, here's what the second chapter should sound like. You just inject all of the outline, you just feed that into the input that goes in there, and you can use that as another card.
All right. So, and everyone which is with us today, how many of you did go through our system that we taught, which is basically you bring in your fantasy chapter book market, then you bring your middle grade series foundation, and then you bring in your rule for the cozy that you're writing. And we did show you how to get your rule for your genre. And then after that, you start with your deep brainstorm. So how many of you did did these 4 steps already?
I think we got a yes from Ellie. I'm trying to remember who else told me they did it, but I can't remember.
I did not, was on the first and second class of the series, 0 ticket things. Unfortunately, I wasn't able, and after the first 2 sessions, the links of the video, I will put the YouTube channel so you can find the video quickly.
Yes, these shorter ones that Manon does, they're great. They walk through the entire thing, and if she trips, she still shows you how to recover. And she cuts out all the waiting time for the generation. So you can use it almost like a real straightforward tutorial. You can speed through it. You can jump through it. ChatGPT is amazing.
This is the 2 out of 4, and the bonus. Now I have to find the playlist. So the playlist should be under any of those. So we have the work, the French, these. So here's a bonus from the 2 out of 4, and this is 2 out of 4, and the same thing. So all those are basically our STEAM 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 2 of 4, and then you have the bonus, which is normally one after the other. So they're not too hard to find. So you have all the class and the bonus that follow.
So to pick those up, and if you don't mind looking at the erotica or the steamy information, it's a very similar system, and you can pick up tips and tricks from both to use in both.
I have to rewatch everything again next week. Can someone click on the YouTube? Make sure I have the right link.
I am clicking on it right now.
Hi, Bear. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. So trust me, guys, you are on my mind all the time. I mean, John can tell I'm going to bed at night. Says, good night, John. I just finished. I'm uploading the bonus video, or I'm still having like 30 minutes of going on. So I can work on those like for 2 days in a row to get those
If you need
bonus
something
videos.
finished, give it to a busy Manon. It just gets done without even realizing she's
Eventually, I'm going to get paid.
yes.
All right. Any question on what I just said, or do you want us to go through a very quick refresher on all the steps, which I basically just did? But
We need like a little. It's like that thing that she's showing where it says fantasy chapter, middle grade series, story reels, and then the blank page blues. That's cool.
yeah, this is that way of, I was telling John earlier, I got slapped on my finger by my editor. She says, you have fantastic story inside your Twinkle Big Dreams. But she says, your story are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. She says, you have to cut them down. It's too big. The kids cannot read that before they go to bed. And it's 1 story per night. So I says, oh yeah, okay, that you're right. So, in the past, like I was like at about 3,000 to 4,000 words per story. And now for me, it's a short story when it has 8,000 words. per story. So when you hit the 10,000, I get slap on my finger, says, nope, that's too much. You have to cut it down. That's where the editor that eventually Sudowrite will release to everyone is fantastic, because the editor allow you to use that command as, please reduce the story by 30%, remove the fluff, check and find all the doubles and all the over explanation. And he does a beautiful job. So trust me, my editor did actually says, oh, I don't have a whole lot of work to do beside a few little things. And the books is normally very quickly affordable to bring on and be published. So that would be
Nice.
fantastic. So quick, the reason I was telling you that is I realized that by doing it inside one document like this one project, the story, each story, like this one is 7,000. No, this is the scene one. Hold on.
That's the brainstorm.
As a
B1 is book
brainstorm.
one.
Then this one is the outline. And that one is the story. So the story is, that's not right. Oh yeah, it's right. Okay, I was mixed up with my bedtime story for the Twinkle Big Dreams, because now we're talking a chapter book. It's not one story per night. It's not a bedtime story. It's a book a kid can get at school, and he has a week to read it and do whatever he has to do for the teacher and things like that. So 19,000 words. It's not a huge book. You can add to it. You can play with that. But it has a prologue and it has the epilogue. And it's a nice size book, and you can afford to put image in it for the size of the book. And the fact that I stay in the same project, when I get to the book 2, which is the outline over here, but the book 2, Trouble in Bubble City, it went up by from 19,000 words about to 22, almost 23,000 words. And when you get to book 3, outline, then you get the Dragon Island, which is book 3. It went back down to like 22.9. And then book 4, Dragon Hatching Dilemma, goes around 23,638. If I was to take book 1 like we do in the smut or the steam engine, we take book 1 and we import it inside Sudowrite like this. Now we become with that. So when we write the book, kind of I play with it and reduce it, so it's at 21,624. But if I put this one and import it then as book 2 to connect to all that stuff, then it went up by a whole lot more words. So that's where you have to, and that's when I said to John, says when we do that, we have to go in the in this part here.
Extra instructions?
The extra instruction, yes. I bring the little in our outline that we get in our brainstorming, we get those little small paragraph explaining what is book 2 coming from book 1 is. So instead of put it on top, because it comes on top of the outline before the prologue. So I take it out and I bring it inside my extra.
That's a good way to do it. And that applies to every chapter because it's talking about the whole book.
Exactly. So basically that little plugin that you create to give us a compte rendu of book 1 is kind of there inside our brainstorming and on top of our outline. So it's a way to use it, and it does a pretty good job. The other thing is if you have a limit of words per book that you like to hit, you put it somewhere in here, and even tell the AI, I'm writing a book for middle grade, and the editor likes to have it at no more than 25,000 words. And so far, the AI is doing a pretty good job on that. So there's 2 ways to go about it. You can put everything in the same project, or do the same thing in the steam engine and import book 1 and link it and keep going by getting all your outline back and forth from the main project to the new books. So you have book 1, then you have book 2, then you have book 3.
Okay, so understand what one thing we're looking at when we're looking at this page is that book one was built in the brainstorm, and book two there was built from a novel import of book one, and then book two is built on top of the story Bible that belongs essentially at the end of the entire book one. So we didn't create an intensive story Bible to write book one, but we generated that story Bible from the past, from book one, to build on top of it to create book two. And then you can further take advantage of the series folder and copy book two, which has book one's story Bible in it, into the series folder, and then import book two as a novel import inside that series folder, and it'll share. And then you write book three inside the imported book two, so that you can build book three on both of those story Bibles. Is that too confusing?
Yeah, no.
Bear, if you have an easier way to explain that, I would love to hear it.
Are you asking me?
Actually, Bear, because Bear's been really good at sometimes taking something that's I make it too complicated. He says, "I'll just do this." Okay.
Yeah. So one thing that I did here is I bring book one and I'm importing book two. So that's the one over here is getting book two in. One thing that I learned yesterday, I was teaching the French class, and I taught that to my student. I says, if you do a series, get yourself, before you bring your book one into your series and everything get like double and triple, because that's what happened when you book one, book two, book three to the series, all your character get multiplied.
Doubled up. Yeah.
So make yourself a copy, a duplicate, and put your duplicate inside the series and keep your main one untouched. So this way,
So you don't end up, if you want to go back to book two without having all that other stuff in there, you can easily do it. The other thing you can do with that is once you write book three, you can duplicate that and pull it out of the series file folder to have sort of, here's the world of book three, if I need to go back and edit on that.
But if you extract it, won't you still have all those doubles?
I don't know. It's at one point we did. Maybe we don't. I'm not sure. I thought it would sort of cement them and keep them in that story, but it may pull them out. I can't remember.
Yeah, we'll have to check because I did that with the other book, but I didn't put book two in yet, so that will. But I'm afraid that once you put it in the series, when you take it out, you still have the double of your character.
If it does, that's okay, because that's what I want in terms of preserving the writing of book three, which should have the story Bible of book two and the story Bible of book one inside of it. I don't want it to have future story Bibles inside of it. So I want to duplicate it and then pull it, or it's like I want to, maybe I move it out, duplicate it, and then drop the old one in. I don't know. I just want to, in my series folder, I want to be able to keep writing the next books. But then outside of the series folder, I want access to my project of what that world was like for that book, so I can go back and fix it.
So from this window, the main thing to remember is to do your daisy link. This is one of the most important part. I don't know how many times I start the series and I forgot. And when I'm reading the brainstorm, says something is missing, like it's not doing what it's supposed to do, and I realize I forgot the daisy link, and then I go back and create basically double the project and create with the daisy link. And when I put them side by side, it makes a big difference.
So we're using a lot of research information that we brought into our project in order to influence the brainstorming of the project and to influence the writing of that first book. Is that correct? Are you using the whole daisy chain in the writing?
Yeah.
So I have a tendency when I'm doing the writing of the first book to break that daisy chain so that I can create more reveal information that's more hidden. I'm really trying to do something where the first chapter, they learn something that they bring into the second chapter where they learn something completely different. and they bring that to the third chapter, I don't want it to know the end of the book. And so by breaking that chain, I can sometimes avoid that. But what Manon is talking about is super useful and can also be used for other research purposes. So if you have something where you want it to know information about historical information, you could go out, do that research about that historical site or the clothing or the custom, and you could pull it in, create a report for it, drop it into Sudowrite, do a continuity link, then it will affect the stuff coming after. It's like a little brain of information where you're distilling the, because it's all kind of in these models already. That's where you're getting it from, right? But you're helping to encourage it to give you that kind of detail.
So do we have any question, or do people need a quick demo of what we're talking about, or can we just go ahead because everyone understands the Daisy link and how to create book 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. until their series is complete?
So
And then
Bear
John,
suggests
go ahead.
that we do a simple example that we abandon after to see what we mean, but that's sort of what you gave them in the, yes? Somebody tapped.
So what's the answer?
I don't know. I mean, it's like it's in the hour that we gave people, but it's just that when you daisy chain these things up together, then we do that brainstorm session inside of the document, and that's all documented. So I don't think we should go through that again because we're on the third thing.
So
We only
the
have
next step
half an
that
hour
will
left.
be to, how do we go about getting our character to grow, editing these books to create the perfect series, and then how do we go about putting image and things like that. So John, you have some new toys to show us. Do you want to do that?
Yes, I'll share my screen. So I'm looking at my middle grade school, which starts with that market overview, but I'm not going to worry about that. What I do want to show is some of the toys. And essentially, I have a plugin I called a voice orchestration assistant down here, and it will you feed it a story Bible or your outline. Sorry, you feed it your outline. Right now, it doesn't actually read the outline the way that TropeRater does, but you feed it the outline in the pop-up, and it will generate a sort of an adjacent outline that talks about what the voice of the characters can be. It's sort of based off of Mimi's examples, which were adult oriented. I was having trouble figuring out a simple way to explain how to do what Mimi is doing, and I was having a harder time trying to figure out how to multiply it and automate it. Whereas if you look at her examples, it might make sense to you specifically for the story you're writing. But again, also we're working with a series that might be a flat arc series. If it's a kid detective novel, we don't really want a lot of character growth, we want a little bit of character growth. And so a voice orchestration assistant gives you this kind of information. Let's see. Another thing I just wanted to point out while I'm here. So this is a this is a regular folder inside my home screen, and I used icons in the title of the folder. So it looks pretty when I look at it and I know where I'm at. Another thing that I do is I keep bookmarks. I have over 1,000, probably 1,200, 1,300 projects. So if I try to open the home screen, it takes a while. And so I have these bookmarks. One's from my erotica folder, one's my kids folder. I have an fantasy folder, and I got a direct link to Miss Mildred, which is a fun novel I've been messing around with. And inside here, there's a bunch of folders and projects already. But yeah, take advantage of folders and icons to make it easy to see what you're doing. So I was working on this thing I called Spybot. The kind of output that you get from these cards. Now, I did this entire series I did inside of a single project. So I did not take it out into a novel import. So there's two ways we were talking about doing this today. One is the idea of using the novel importer or something like Manon's reverse your story Bible is actually another way that would be really nice. But I was using um, my recap plugin to create past books. So PB is my past books, and in here I just create a new trait. So I book 1, book 2, book 3, and I put the input of the recap, which is I just select everything and hit recap. Again, you could use something like Manon's reverse story Bible to do this. Each of these can take easily 5,000 words, so each trait can feed a lot. But it gives me information of the story up until now. The other thing that I would kind of show you is I don't have any outline down here because my outline, I've already generated an entire outline in my Spybot brainstorm. I generated an outline across the 5-book series. I did that first. I worked through the system that we've had, and I probably made it a little bit too complicated for middle grade. So I'm sort of hedging back and forth about what I should do. But what you're looking at right now is the setup for writing book 4, which I wrote this morning. In fact, I wrote book 1, book 2. I generated draft 1, draft 2. The drafts are book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4. This morning, book 1's more, from what I'm reading, it's more successful. Book 2's okay, book 3 is okay, and book 4 I think needs a little more work. But what I was doing is I'm using Manon.
Yeah, now you have all those book 1, book 2 of your character cards, your operator cards. Are they double like this because you did the series import, or you did a card for each book and you put everything together like that? And how that work when you write actually all those books? And that's a lot of
Okay, so you
information.
notice right now that these cards, which have been labeled after the fact with
Okay.
B1, B2, these are all hidden from Sudowrite. So these have been turned off as I write forward. I'm using the same set of instructions for my, not for my chapters, but for my extra instructions. And I'm not, it's because I'm happy enough with my voice, with what I'm getting out of my voice orchestrator. So I'm using the same TR, my character arcs guide, my voice orchestrator, and my previous books. So these, I don't change my extra instructions. I change the names of my cards. So I have cards for book 1, and when I'm writing book 1, they're just called TR, CAG, VO, PB. And then after book 1 is done, I change their names down and I turn them off so it can't be seen. And I generate the next set of cards for the next book. And then I write the next book. So I'm doing it serially, and I'm doing it within the same project. And my PB is the result from my recap, but you could use Manon's story Bible in reverse, which would give you a much deeper insight into your story. I'm using my voice orchestrator, which I feed essentially all of these are plugins. So my character arcs guide it's in our thing. It's I've got a voice orchestration assistant, which I've shared with you, and my character arcs guide is further up here. I have got one built in Opus. I've got an Opus Troperator. I use the Opus 4.1 Troperator because I'm lazy and it's more likely to finish the entire outline in one go. but it's almost 10 times the cost. So I'm lazy and I pay the price for it. Whereas you could use the trope reader that is here, which is just the I think it might be V3 or something, or it's Haiku. It's one of the other.
Yeah, Haiku
It's one of
and
the cheaper ones, and it's really cheap.
yeah, Haiku.
And then I also have Character Arcs Guide, and there's an Opus and there's a Sonnet version, and I would totally recommend the Sonnet version.
Did you ever
But
test the story with and without? Did you ever see the difference having all those beautiful card created, which at some point you told us we don't even have to put them in the extra instruction because the AI go get those cards anyway.
that's what I'm finding. Now, I think it's might be a little bit helpful that I'm saying that this is my chapter guide TR, this is my character arcs guide CHE, this is my voice orchestrator. So this gives it some hint as to what it's doing, what these cards are doing. These are my previous books, PB. You know, so I go back and forth. Now you'll notice that I don't have a couple of ideas, which is this is my reader personae and this is my writer personae. Mostly because I'm happy with the voice I'm getting out of it as it is right now, and I don't want to mess with it too much. I don't want to add those personae in and have it change it. And so I avoided it. But I'm also using my own writing inside of Excellent as a sample, and that's important to get it to guide it to be more like the way you want it to sound. Also, I'm doing this in third person past tense. Also, if you don't like this, don't use it. I love this kind of weird backward describing of stuff. Some people maybe have put off white or it feels too repetitive. And so you may not want to use this. And again, anything that's in here is all subject to your own suggestions. Lower middle grade readers ages 8 to 10. This kind of information is what I put into my genre. I don't have anything in my synopsis. I don't have anything in my brain dump. Genre is, I do say that it's robot fantasy. Lower middle grade reader, robot fantasy ages. I put my ages in here. Now, I would suggest that if you had a word count per you know,
Book.
yeah, you or well, I would break it down to
Chapters.
yeah.
Because you kind of
Now,
bring the 1,000 words pretty well so far. I kind of realized that he's playing between 1,000 and 1,005 per chapter across the board.
and that's when you're asking for a word count of
A total
10,000.
word count or no word count at all. The AI seems to be going around that in the chapter department when we do everything in one silo.
Yeah, I think it's also because we're asking for a lower middle grade reader ages 7 to 9. So it's going to give us the default for that. If you wanted to sort of squish it and make it tighter, ask for 700 or 900 word chapters, or if you have a limit. I think if you put it into the genre, it will be listened to.
Stronger.
Again, you notice that the only thing that, I mean, well, fantasy is a big genre, and robot fantasy is a subgenre, I guess. But this is like who I'm aiming at, and this is the age of whom I'm aiming at. That changes the way this AI writes. And I think this again would, if I needed to do that, if I felt like if I'm trying to make it even a tighter pace or something, I would say I need to do 750 word chapters.
Yeah.
I think it would be effective there. What I don't,
It
because
might
we're writing,
work, but the AI doesn't know how to count, so.
I know that's there. But because I'm writing all of this sequentially in an automated sort of way, and I'm setting everything up so I can kick it off and let it run in the background while I do something else. I want to do all my work up front as much as possible, get it ready to go to a point where I think it'll be successful, and I kick it off, and then I come
You
back
give me
later
more
and
work to
check it.
do.
It gives you a lot of work to do, but
I have to redo that workflow and add all those word building cards.
Well, I go back and forth. I mean, sometimes I did it without those cards.
Yeah.
I was having fun with it now with the cards. What I was looking for without the cards was more about keeping secrets,
Mm-hmm.
because the Bible, or the way I'm prompting for uh our chapters here, that is in here, and that's this. Um, so you can see in here, this is the brainstorm scenes for brainstorming series ideas. This is back again to the beginning, but it's I'm not focusing on it for the beginning. So I told it to brainstorm 10 series premises, read back, find the best one. You could break these up. You can tell it which one is the best one and do a deep dive. Create a full series report, which is that thing that Manon was saying, and then create a full book series pilot plan for development, and it gives information. Now, I added in this, and I think that might have made it too complicated for middle grade. So you may want to take that out. But
To be. Mm-hmm.
2B stories and a twist, and so that might be too much. Maybe just one B story. Myself, I was wanting more information. I felt like there was stuff in the middle of the book that felt repetitive, and I'm like, okay, it's repetitive because it feels like it needs to be bigger, but it doesn't have that B story to follow into. So it's doing the same thing over and over again. And then we decided the words reset back to the beginning of the book, follow the plan, create a complete chapter by chapter outline. So that helps to insist that you get all the chapters. Now, this next little part is what I call a reveals oriented Bible template. And you see it here, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because it's squished so it can fit into a scene, into a single scene. But you see that it starts with each chapter is going to be a beginning state, what the protagonist believes at the start of the chapter, what the reader assumes is true up until now. Any mask or false front still holding. So that's all in the beginning state. It has a chapter goal, the unique thematic emotional fetish beat this chapter explores, why this chapter exists in the arc, event reveal, the shift that changes what we thought before the chapter, the moment where something new enters the story, emotional, relational, or plot, and then the after state, what has changed by the end of the chapter, what remains unresolved, so tension continues. Constraints, guardrails for the AI, what cannot happen yet, no confessions, no intimacy too early, no resolution. So you see how I'm borrowing this from other stuff, but it doesn't, because of the genre, it keeps things safe. Setting, physical environment, and atmosphere, symbols or motifs tied to world building. A cast, it's what characters are present in the chapter, crew and world elements that appear and should carry forward, and a set of continuity tags, which is sensory details, imagery, or dialogue threads introduced here that should be remembered for future chapters. So that's what I'm feeding as my scene. That's the seed of each scene. And what that does is creates it creates a series of scene directions that hides information from the story until it's revealed in the writing of the story. The thing that's special about scenes is that the rest of the scenes, the other scenes, can't be seen by the scene that's writing it. By the right, it can see all the other story Bible stuff, but it can't see all the other scenes. It only sees the chunk that it's writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you don't reveal everything else, which I'm kind of doing with my trope creator cards, and I'm kind of doing with because I feed it like an outline. So I go back and forth. If you do it without any of those cards, and you just feed it this kind of reveal this, now reveal this, and all it has to do is look up and see what happened previously before it writes the next chapter. I feel like it gives a more satisfying, growing book read,
Mm-hmm.
less feeling like it's repetitive or hitting the same beat, the same trope over and over again like a dead horse. So I like it that way. Now, again, the way I set this up is I have created a full book series plan and then write the chapter by chapter outline. And so I repeated this over and over for the number of books that I needed.
Yeah.
I kind of worked in chunks. So I kind of said, I told it to brainstorm the series. If I found this one I like, I said, okay, this one wins. Then I added in this stuff. It depends if I want the series report, because like the thing is, you have total access to this stuff. And that's a great opportunity to go in and fix it. If there's something you don't like about the series report, go and fix it. And you can use all the tools in Sudowrite to fix it.
Yep.
You can select it and hit expand. You can select it and say rewrite, but give me this. The rewrite is a very interesting feature that we don't use that much in Sudowrite because I didn't know what it was for as much. But I think it's really useful when it's like, okay, it's almost like focusing an AI on a chunk of words in the middle of your document and saying, give it to me different. So those kind of feelings where you want to go and ask for it to be rewritten, or you want it to ask for the thing to be you want to do a whole chapter redone. Well, maybe you don't want to do a whole chapter redone. You just want to give yourself notes and then maybe go back and look at those notes. And then if you want AI assistance, you can select it and tell it to rewrite custom and say, I don't like this about this. I want this to be like that.
Yeah.
And the more you give it in terms of, the more specific you are in your prompting, I think you're going to be able to then affect everything that comes after. And
Yeah.
then after that, I said, tell it to write the pilot plan and the
Even
hook,
something
and then,
more, John.
yeah.
The new plugin basically asks you what you're looking for to produce. You can bring those questions into the plugin area and copy the plugin answer and bring it inside this.
Mm.
You already have your basically what you need, the command done as a plugin, which is done under Sudowrite under the plugin section. And you don't have to produce it as a plugin. You just copy the plugin and bring it in, and you have your comments.
That's interesting. Do you want to show it what that might look like?
I can do that, but first we're going to answer a couple of questions. Mr. Bear was asking if you ever use the 2B story versus 2 subplot story.
I have not. Maybe we should try that. 2 subplots. I like
You have
that.
a good idea right there. Then anything else you wanted to show here?
We talked a little bit about some of these things. In here is some developmental edit line edits that we're going to talk about this next week. This is some examples if you felt like looking at my results, so you don't have to generate things and see what they did.
So when you do your first story, how often do you go and read it and make change in it before you start doing the second one?
Okay, so if I'm trying to do it like this morning, so I can show you guys at least 3 books, I didn't do a whole lot. I did a little bit. And what I mostly did on these guys, and you can kind of read them and look at them, is I got rid of the prologues, because the prologue was this info dump, which may actually have been useful for writing the rest of the book, but was not fun in reading, and it gave away too much information. And now if you read these, and I think they all start with the kids as opposed to with the robots in space and what they're doing. So you discover what's going on as the kids discover what's going on. And so that was the big major change that I made. If I'm really being good about things, I would try to fix as much of this as possible. But also remember, you're beholden to the AI. And the reason why I'm interested in generating an entire book all at once is it sounds more like the entire book. And the reason I'm interested in writing a series as quickly as possible, drafting it as quickly as possible, is that I want each part to be like the one before, and I want it to sound alike. And so when I'm doing this, it's like the closer in time that it happens, the more likely it's got the same model, it's got the same weird, quirky, whatever, and it works as a for cohesion. And you're not going to be fighting it later to try to get that final book finished. So yeah, it's a mix. Would it be better to get book one complete? I think what book one has to do is it has to have the information that's in there. If the information that's in there kind of matches the direction and the velocity of the series Bible and of the outlines, then I will write. Then I'll get the next one generated, and then I'll get the next one generated, and then I'll get the next one generated. Again, I go through and I rip out stuff that feels super repetitive. Like if it is repetitive, it just rewrote a chapter for some reason. I'll rip that out. If I look at it, the prologue, and say this prologue is not working, either I'll redo the prologue or I'll completely chop it out, maybe make it a reader magnet or something for people that are interested in what happened before the stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like speed is of your advantage here, and it's not about speed to market, it's about speed to draft. You still need to edit these things, and you're going to need to sort of cross-reference all books with each other and decide if there are differences that you need to bring together and say which ones are working. And so, but you can work on that whole series together, and you can use your tools, your Claudes and your ChatGPTs, to sort of even out what's happening across all the books. And I just feel like that gives you the opportunity to do that if you get it done faster, and if you stay true to the outline that you set up. So spend time on your outline, spend time on your series outline, try to get that working, and then sort of commit to churning out the drafts.
Yeah.
And again, the first book matters more than the second book, matters more than the third book, matters more than the fourth book, because you'll have more time later to work on the second, third, and fourth books. And the first book will affect everything else.
That's I want to even go farther on that, John, because as a teacher, we are showing you how to do things, and often enough, we don't have time to read what's get generated. We just want to get things done, so you have an example to work with. But in our editing and writing outer life, we go and read, edit, and reread books that we produce through AI, through Sudowrite, and do our changes, our expansion and change, and put our voice in it. But it's during the class and even during the video that I'm doing for you guys as a bonus. Everything is done quickly. I don't have time to read everything, or so I will take a month before I can get a bonus video out. So, and to add something to that, because we're already at 54, the hour goes very, very quickly. The book that I was using under the video series that I produced for you, the last book, which came from the outline, at the end of book 4, he actually has a continuity and says, by the way, we're going to write book 5, which is absolutely not in the brainstorm. So my question, how would you work with that? You write all your series, and then your last book says, by the way, there is another books, and here what will happen in the next book? Like basically it's giving you a heads up, and you have the choice. It says, okay, I cut everything off, and it says that everyone is happy for the rest of their life, and da. Or how would you go about to say from the last book to create the book 6 or book 5 or the next book?
So I would decide if I want to do it or not. I would chop it if I don't want to do it. I could chop it and keep it, because if that series takes off, you're going to want to write another series, and then you could use that as a spark for the next books. And you could just bring it into to do the same kind of brainstorming that we've been doing, and have it write another season. Think of these series, especially if you're doing 3 or 4 or 5, think of them as a season on Netflix. What would the next season bring? And then look for that kind of brainstorming.
Mhm. So basically, that's what happened in the last book, Hatching the Dragon Hatching Dilemma. It finished that everything is great, but then the experimentation are continue. So basically, it's telling me, there you go, you continue your series. That was kind of interesting, and it's not the only one who did that. The Steam engine actually started book 5 or book 6 in question at the bottom, totally started inside the story, and one of them actually started in the outline part of it. So even from the first generation of our outline brainstorming, that I only had 5 books, when it came to the last, the book 4 or 5, he says, by the way, here's book 5 or 6, and then give me a whole synopsis of those books. So he says, I'm not done here. You just continue on you. So I guess it's a good thing to go and read all that and see what they give you, because this is one example here. The experiments continue, so we know that I can keep going from the book 4 to book 5 to book 6.
If you feel like you want to give people a real resting place, you can chop the stuff that's the experiment continues, and maybe any glowing edges around the edges stuff, but keep it somewhere, because you could always bring it back and stick it into the book if you're going to write the next series. So you can have it both ways. You don't have to do this, or you can leave it in and see if people are saying, oh, I want the next book, I want the next book. And if they're doing that, then give them the next book, figure it out.
And that's where one of those My Story in Reverse can actually help you, because he's going to see that the experimentation continue, that it might actually give you an outline for the next book. And I think one of your plugin can do that too, John, isn't it?
Maybe. Which one did you try?
I don't know. Tell me which one you think will continue that series. Any one
Is
of
there
your
one?
toys?
The new ones don't, but it's like there's one that's about brainstorming series. I don't know if you have it.
I have the smart one, but
Oh yeah, well, I think there's. I'll go see if I can find one for the kids' books.
so that's how we go and get
I would type series.
just series.
Yeah, because other people may have series books as well. Series book, so create series
Create
ideas.
series idea. Select
one.
the genre and the trope, but I want to create from the last book.
Well,
It's just this one.
I think if you were able to feed it the last book, it might be able to do it.
Is anyone else tried something inside one of those plugin and were able to extend their series?
Um,
But you have the smut. I can probably try the smut and see what it's going to give me.
Series outline generator. Yeah, these are old. I don't know if they've worked. It's been a while since we tried these. Children's book script. Oh, that's the series chat opus chatbot inside a doc. You ask a question, select the questions, answers in a history card. You insert the answer. So this you could, I think, talk about a series, and
This one?
it would not be cheap. No, the series chat. That one, the children's book will just generate a children's book with prompts for your
What about
image,
this?
for your
That's one is for
pages.
the gay people.
Well,
Right.
that's what I called it, but I think it's actually just a regular series outline generator.
Okay, we'll try to see if
It may have
that
been the June or something, or that's what I was using it for, but I don't think there's anything in it that
we
specifically.
created 24. That's the one that you thought you said it was supposed to check. The one you want to teach this one today to show a 24-page story.
I would use Sonnet 3.7 is acceptable. That one's expensive. I don't know that I would go with that one.
Where is it?
It was just above it. Kids book series. There is the further down is kids book series. In the middle. little bit further down.
That one?
There. Yeah.
So I guess we
12
can
connected
check
short reads. You could try something like that, but that's more like uh, a bunch of um, uh, bedtime stories, I think.
So if I get this one.
Question: would you call 3 books a series, even if it's only part of the series in the first trilogy? The first trilogy. Yes. So when you're selling these things, you're just calling it a series. Even if it's, I mean, a trilogy is a series. So as you add more to it, you define what it is, and it's great that you're doing 9 movies. But yeah, if you get that first book out, that could still be the pilot of a series. But you could just sell it as a standalone book until you get the second book out, and then after that, it's all a series. You could call it seasons. Here's season 1, here's season 2 for each trilogy. But you could think about that. Yeah, that's good. Season anime series. Nice. That's perfect, Jade. I think that would work.
Too many words.
Yes, that was written before.
So that's one thing to go back and revisit some of those plugins and add more words. A lot of my plugin, that's what I had to do, and add more words for incorporate all those story, which at least 25,000. And I think this morning I put that 55,000 for the long chapter books for adult. I don't have a follow-up on the chat. So what do we have in the chat?
Jade's asking about a trilogies for a series plugin would help instead taking all 15 book outline. Why I was asking, I'm not quite sure I understand. Because she was asking if 3 books would be a series, and I said yes. Because she's thinking 5 arcs, five seasons of 3 books, which I think is great. I'm not sure what. Maybe we'll try to build a plugin. I'm actually doing the plugins class tomorrow, because
She's not feeling
regular
well.
teacher isn't feeling well. So maybe we can come tomorrow, Jade, and work on some plugins.
Sounds great, yeah. So brainstorming the outline in Sonnet by asking the next book. So then the second book of the World Keeper series. So that one basically would start the next book of the series after book 4 to go to book 5. Unanswered question. The 4th point. I would have to go and read if it's about this story, because it's about dragons, and I don't see dragons inside this outline. Relicton allies, okay. See Valerian. That seems to be an interesting Mr. Walker protocol. Dev and Lily. Achieve the artifact. That seems to be an interesting story. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with this one, though. Huh. Because I don't know what's Valerian. Who's Valerian? So let's go check if we have a Valerian in here. All right, we have Valerian. So that's the follow-up of it. Okay, we're going somewhere. So that's not a way to go and create your next book. And yeah, it's always great to go and read everything and make sure that match up. And it's still going.
So I think you used this at one point, and you were able to get like a lot of words out of this because you used each of these paragraphs as a scene, which kind of was like a bunch of chapters, as opposed to like the 8 or 10 that it's going to give us.
Mm-hmm. Chapter N and 4 protagonists. Okay. That's going to be an interesting one to read and probably produce the next book of that series. And uh, like Jade was saying there, she now she has even more idea for more book and more series to do. So trust me, we have for each class we have a new series coming up. And when I read the book and I change it and fix it, I said, oh, I want to finish that series. So we need more time to finish those series and publish them. So yeah, that's one way of going about going forward into the next book if it's not inside here. But there's nothing stopping us from going back into the original one.
So into the original brainstorm.
Yeah, and ask for the next one.
Yeah, which is what I essentially did. But like I said, the series brainstorm. So I might ask it to brainstorm the second series. So this says,
That's what the example
this,
you were showing earlier. So book one, this one I did. That should be book two here, not book three.
no, that's a pilot plan.
Yeah, but I kind of
Oh, book two.
in my
Sorry,
other one,
you're
I
right.
kind of create these between each, like this one,
Yes.
book four
Yeah.
and four.
Yes.
So I could do the same thing here and ask
But what's the
people.
thing above that? Go to like number 6 or something, or 5. What is 5? What is 4? Go to 4. Create a full book 1 series plot. Wait. Create a full series. So create a full series. So duplicate 3 and put it at the bottom and say create a full series report for the next season in this project.
So create a full series report for the next season of this project.
Yeah.
Like that.
Mhm.
And just create
Generate that in excellent as continued.
and then I would go and get those two. And probably
So start calling it season 1, book 1, season 2, book 1.
so create
Whatever. See
would be
what it calls
create
it.
full season 2 book.
Book
Okay, I
1.
understand what you're doing. So instead of book, we would call it the season series.
Uh,
Series or season. Create a
season
full.
2, book 1. Oh. Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be book 1 of that series.
Create a full season 2, book 1. I think is what you're gonna have to. Yeah. And if you do that, then
So here that will be create the outline for book 1 of series season 2.
yeah.
What is RX?
It was just somebody's POV.
Ah, okay.
I was copying. I turned something into a template, and that's what the template it gave me. Let's go to the bottom and see what it says for this second season. Looks like it's 8 books.
We have a few books, book 5, season arc, book 5, 8. Let's see where it starts. Does it start with telling me it's on scene or not?
It should.
Isn't it?
Continuity tag so that you're okay. You're past it.
Yeah.
After epilogue. There, they close the book. Now they open up. This is season 2
It's a
development
season.
plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have read through this stuff. You'll see that the way Excellent generates this stuff, they tend to have an author protagonist who's doing all the work for you.
So we have the series arc 5 to 8.
And it tells you what the first books did and what the next books will do.
So it's very, very interesting how that goes. Then during that time, I probably should ask it to generate 11 and 12.
Yep.
So this is a very interesting way to extend your series when you fall in love with your series and you see how there should be a follow-up. And that's how people end up into writing for Netflix and things like that and doing huge series. I really like the market conclusion. The market are very interesting to read.
Yeah, that's stuff that's coming in from those earlier
Research.
research. Yeah.
These one here, this
Yeah.
information comes inside these.
Well, it influences it and says, think about this and deliver it as part of the package.
Yeah. Even the merchandise opportunities. So that's kind of like it says, that's giving me idea on making like t-shirt and things like that on.
Well, it's got magical charms you're selling.
Yeah. So I'm a soap maker, so I get, so some of my dragon soap goes with the books.
Beautiful.
So I really, really like what I'm reading. So let's see what that gives us. Book 6, 7. It's thinking.
So we're getting kind of past the hour and I
Oh
need
my
to
goodness. Yes, sorry about that.
think about maybe drawing this to a close. If you are interested in using um, the plugin that's about building picture books, absolutely try it out. If you already know your story and have a script for the story or the text for the story, you can feed that into the plugin in the pop-up. If you have art style information, you could feed the art style information. If you have no idea, none of that yet, you could just give it a simple idea. And then you can take the output from that into aistudio.google.com to work with Nano Banana, or take it to ChatGPT and get some style, or take the ideogram. People have been getting good words on images and ideogram and ChatGPT.
Yeah, that would be nice. Do you have those websites inside your Notion document?
Like ChatGPT and AI Studio.
That would
or
be
the
that would be nice to add to 4 out of 4 of this series to tell people or direct them into place where they can get all those like the same bear throughout the 24 pages doing the story like the one I have, but in a easier way than ChatGPT. Even though ChatGPT is getting better, it's
ChatGPT is amazing, but it's slow, and
slow.
that makes it difficult to work with. What I did find out was I was able to get Sora to create thumbnails, 24 thumbnails in a single image for the entire book.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really messed around with that enough to see if I can get good storytelling out of it.
That's months and
I was
months.
able to get, but I was able to get 24 images in a sort of a vertical stack,
Yeah,
and I was happy about that.
Google is going a lot of new stuff going
Google's faster,
on.
Nano Banana is faster, and you can edit things inside of the Nano Banana really well. Nano Banana has a tendency to fall into a, a rut. You'll get almost the same image over and over again, and sometimes that upsets me.
All right. Any question that we can answer you, or we can stop the recording and answer question on outside the recording? So during people make up their mind. So on this, I want to say thank you everyone to be today at this session 3 out of 4 of middle grade story in series. We enjoy writing and talking to you about our workflow. And I'm always very, very happy and so much fun with teaching with you, John. So thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for getting back. And
In time.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, Manon and John, yeah, we set the vibe. Sudowrite rhythm, let the stories come alive. From the spark of desire to a burning flame, we teach you the craft and you play the game. Words like waves rolling on the sea, characters dance and set your passion free. Build a world, let the fire ignite. This is how we write, erotica, write it right. Write it hard, write it true, with fire, heart, and John guiding you. Sudowrite flow, reggae groove in the night. Come learn how to shine, how to burn, how to write right. Write it hard, write it true, with fire, heart, and John guiding you. Sudowrite flow, reggae groove in the night. Come learn how to shine, how to burn, how to write. Yeah, 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 yeah. Series strong, yeah, the readers stay. Cliffhangers calling, they can't look away. Plot and desire, rhythm in the beat. Turn every chapter into heat so sweet. Raise your hand or drop it in the chat. We'll answer your questions, imagine that. Q&A time, we jam and we vibe. After the record stops, we still live. Write it hard, write it true, with fire, heart, and John guiding you. Sudowrite flow, reggae groove in the night. Come learn how to shine, how to burn, how to write, yeah. Write it hard, write it true, with fire, heart, and John guiding you. Sudowrite flow, reggae groove in the night. Come learn how to shine, how to burn, how to write. Write it hot, write it bold. Turn your fantasies into gold with Manon and John. The story ignite. Sudowrite reggae, feel the love tonight, yeah. Write it hot, write it bold. Turn your fantasies into gold with Manon and John. The story ignite. Sudowrite reggae, feel the love tonight. Write it hot, write it true, with fire, heart.